Uh, I'm back again for another Instagram Live. And I'm going to delve into for a short while the power of why. Why is a word that's been talked about, dissected, written about our why. That word, our phrase, that phrase, understand the why. Mark Twain is often quoted as saying, the most important days of our lives is the day we were born and the day we find out why. Mark Twain is quoted as saying the most important days of our lives, is the day we were born and the day we understand why. Welcome back. Thanks for joining me again this evening. Love to have your feedback on this. That I'm back doing one of these lives. There's so much going on. With all that's going on in our lives, I've come to believe, as others I've conversed with, I've come to believe that it's easy to get sidetracked. It's easy to get off course on some things that's important to us. It's easy to get caught up in the normal routine of life to the degree that we don't always make time to understand our greater why. The day we are born, we have no control over that. We come upon this earthly scene and begin this life journey. And there are some that have ended the life journey because of COVID-19 and other circumstances in this thing called life. However, for those of us that are living, I challenge you to, if you've not already done so, I challenge you to go on that personal search of why. Why you are here, why you do what you do. Yes, it's a personal thing on one end, but it's also a collective, communal thing on the other. For our life, like dominoes, if anyone's ever stacked dominoes in a row, it doesn't take but one domino stacked in a row to begin causing the others to fall. Life is like that. We know this. Life is like that. Just like it takes just takes molecules moving, and I'm not a scientist, going back to basic high school years ago, molecules moving cause in a certain way within the air to cause a hot air balloon to rise. Communal in a context. One thing affecting another thing, another thing affecting another thing. So when we choose to delve into our personal why, to ask yourself, like I ask myself, why I'm here today, what I'm going to do today that tomorrow, as someone once said, will thank me for, should I see it? What's important to me? What's not so important to me? What must I prioritize? What must I not prioritize in this thing called my life? Same question I ask of myself, I challenge you to ask of yours. You may say, well, I do this all the time, Alfred. But here's my thing. Do you really? Do you take quiet time in the morning, perhaps, in the evening, perhaps before you close your eyes at night? Do you shut everything out for a moment or moments of time? Let your mind roam free, have a quiet space to explore your why. Dive into your why, hows, and whats of the day. To let go and to breathe deeply or slowly. And think about why, your why. Once we come to understand why we are here on a personal level, what we contribute or do not contribute on a communal level, Unless we choose to delve into that on an ongoing basis, that continual learning thing I talked about in my last live. We may find ourselves in an uncomfortable place. We may find ourselves like 75%, as some have said, of Americans going to a job that you really hate. You may find yourself in a place where you know you want better, but you're afraid to pursue better for yourself because you become comfortable. Nothing ever really grows in a comfort zone. Nothing ever really grows when we're comfortable. It's like when just think about the last time you perhaps got with your fuzzy wuzzy cuddle pillow or whatever that thing, that your comfort space or your comfort food. Think about that thing that brings you a level of comfort when all the world does not matter. For me, it's like one of my things that bring me comfort. It's comfort food. It's something I rarely get. A product thing I rarely eat. I had some a few weeks ago. So honey butter roasted pecans, or pecans as we say here in the South. I hadn't had any in years. I purchased this can of them at this vineyard I was visiting. I'm like, Alfred, you get them home. When I got home, I barely had a can left. It was a comfort food in that moment, just my taste buds salivating, and I ate one after the other, and then I'm like, wow, it's comfort food. It's so good. Knowing that the place I purchased them from is like an hour and a half away. And it's not, I can't go to some supermarket and find some similar. It's a whole different feeling when it tastes. They had a whole different taste when it came coming from a local vendor. That being also a major factory somewhere just processed great numbers. Had that homemade flavor of being roasted in the oven. Just right amount of butter, honey, and each pecan just the right amount of salt. I was in a comfortable place. He said, well, how does that relate to your understanding of the power of why? If we allow ourselves to get too comfortable or get lost in something that brings us a great deal of comfort, we will never choose to delve into that thing. Like he said, delve, should say dive. The proper word should be is dive into that place. Because deep sea divers or people who have ever jumped off a diving board or experienced that feeling of jumping into a pool, knows that afterwards there's a big splash and everything seems to go everywhere. Water goes everywhere. And then they settle in that pool in that comfort space. But before the comfort comes the discomfort of the splash and the water in your face and your eyes, but you adjust. Same thing with why. When you choose to delve into your power of why, there's going to be measures and degrees of discomfort. Discovering it is not a pleasant thing, because when in this journey and the discovery process, there are some acknowledgments that you and I will make. I still make them, because the journey, power of why, and the journey to your why, understanding your why, it's not an end all. It's a beginning, ongoing process. To understand the hardest the power of why, we must acknowledge that it's not an end thing. It's a journey through. For the why will change over, certain aspects of it will change over the years. I wanted my words to impact other people when I first started. So I was a open mic host in a lot of venues around the Piedmont Triad. I was the lead group member of a network of poets and writers. I did all I could to reach people in the physical, to share my words, to make sure other people have the chance to share their words. I had no idea that all of that years later would end up being a podcast. And I reached people around the world. I knew my why was to reach out and affect people's lives. And in affecting people's lives, the better also face my own personal demons. And find some healing in connectivity with others whose story was similar to mine. Who knew what pain and frustration was like when you gave all you had and all you had was never good enough. When you pushed harder and sometimes you found yourself falling backwards again and again. But you pushed anyway. Because you had that thing pulling at you that you were on that journey of your why. Not, I was on that journey. Excuse me, I'm talking myself in the second person sense. I was on that journey of my why. When you go on that journey, you will go with it with people to a certain degree, but other times you will go with it alone. There are times when that walk will be alone. There are times when discovering the power of why will be a lonely process, not just in your quiet moments. It will also be a time when you're in a room full of people. You wonder, why am I here? My job made me come here. I came here at an invitation of someone else because there was something that we have a common interest. And at the end of the day, you still are struggling with your personal why, even on a corporate level. On this journey to understanding the power of your personal why, you may have to let go of some folks. Some folks may let go of you. Harnessing the power of why means losing as well as gaining. There's a quote that goes like this: that we have to unlearn the things we have learned to learn. Harnessing the power of why is just that. Being willing to unlearn and relearn the things we have learned. A friend of mine and I share a common love for a certain movie that was never a box office hit. But it's a powerful movie. It's called Vantage Point. Basically, the premise is this: that something happened and different people saw the incident from different angles. Understanding and harnessing the power of why, your why, my why, our collective why, will involve that. Seeing things at a different angles. And therefore, in the shifting and vision, and there's an adaptation, a change in yourself. Because we can't change no one else. That's the thing I'll say up there today will change one thing in your life. Change begins within. Sarah Alfred, I already know this. Yeah. My thing to you is not always easy. Because it's hard to harness the power of why. It was all I've talked about. This, one of those beautiful insects in creation, I believe, is the butterfly. Regardless of whether it's full of color or not, the way it seems to float on the air. While it's flying, it's like, then to see a collection of butterflies, multiple butterflies on a simple location, which is rare sometimes. It's like, wow. Nature at its best, in its simplest forms. However, before that butterfly became a butterfly, was a caterpillar. Who, however nature operates in its psyche, it's about a caterpillar knew. There's a thing there where there was a struggle involved. Is that larvae grew and is that a cocoon, and it went through that metamorphosis, and it finally broke free of that cocoon as a butterfly. That power of why, even within that insect. Because something more than what it was originally. Yes, the power of why will cause you to go through a metamorphosis, a change, as I've alluded to in different examples. Understanding that today, if this is your day to come to understanding of your why, will lead to all of what I've talked about. Some people say, I understand my why. I do what I love to do, and yeah, cool, I salute you. But as I said earlier, the power of why is not an end game. Understanding it is not an end game. Yes, Mark Twain said what he said. The most important day of our life, our days of our lives, is they were born. He said the second most important day is understanding why. Ever to just understand and not move, not metamorph, not change, based upon your understanding of your why. And being open to your why, be evolutionary. Something that will continually evolve once you come to understanding of the baseline of your why. Understanding and accepting that will give you power beyond measure. If you've not already done so, that today, with the hearing of my voice on this day, or whenever you hear this or watch this live stream, let this moment be your beginning of diving into your why, so you can harness the power of your why. If you're already on that journey, continue on it. Be not afraid, for you're not alone. There's a global community of people that you may not even know by name, but I trust me, there's people out here all over the place on a similar journey, coming to an understanding of their why, so they can harness the power of their why. Live life on their terms, the best life possible, in spite of COVID-19, in spite of whatever may come our way. Because life's going to throw crap your way. We're going to have our good days and our not so good days. I don't personally believe in bad days, but not so good days. Having bad moments, yeah, I believe in bad moments. Which is one of the reasons I believe in my slogan. I know if you don't believe in it, I believe in it. No matter what happens, I win. I have a greater understanding of my why than ever now, which is why I'm doing another live stream tonight. And when I get off here, I'm going to do a little bit of writing. Lie with my why. What are my reasons I do what I do? Only you can harness the power of your why. Only you can harness the power of the slogan, no matter what happens, I win. But let not that dash in the middle of the day you're born and the day you die be for nothing. Create a living legacy by diving, can I say the word delving? Diving into your why. If you understand what it is. Diving into that deep end of learning what it is. And if it is attached, I would say this as I wind this down. If it is attached to your religious affiliations, if it is attached to your political affiliations, if your why is attached to your friends and your family and some external circumstance that you do not understand your why, you will never harness the full power of your why. Because people, organizations, and other things, this thing called life will let you down. Yes, we need the support of friends and family and love to be part of a greater collective at times. Some of us do. Some of us are perfectly fine as loners to a great degree. But really look at it this way. If you're catching this on some social media platform, you're not really a loner. One of my a poet I read in the early 80s wrote that no man is an island. No one is really isolated anymore who has access to technology. And therein, you may find the assistance you need to come to understanding of your why, and beyond understanding it, discovering the power of your why. If you're on Instagram, please click the link in my bio. Once I upload this on different platforms, I've actually shortened the context compared to the last one. The text compared to the last one, excuse me. Leading you back to certain things, you will simply find one link to my website. Go on that website, find something that will touch you, connect with me, some form there. Whether it be through the podcast, whether you go to the t-shirt store and order a product from there, leave a message. Hit me up on Instagram, LinkedIn. I believe my YouTube link is there still. But definitely hit me on Instagram. Follow the podcast, subscribe. Not just follow it, subscribe to it. Check out one of the products in the t-shirt store. Find something that speaks to you. Actually, right now, I'm winning no matter what happens, I win all my products. But there may be a product that appeals to you more than a t-shirt. This must be all for now. I will say this, though. I have some great guests coming up. From the end of August through the middle of September on the podcast. I won't be the one talking. Yeah, I usually talk a lot. But now I have some strong guests coming up. One of the guests I'm really looking forward to is Zachary Kluckman, spoken word poet out of New Mexico. Labor Day weekend, I'm going to record with him. Follow me on Instagram. Stay up for the alerts. Watch for the post announcements. Check out the podcast. Subscribe. Visit the t-shirt store. Understanding your why is great, I would say. Harnessing the power of it is something only you can do.